Welcome to Fun Friday at Functionised. The guy that I was about to introduce, Dr. Brandon, is already here on set. Go figure, he's been here all day. Today we're going to talk about obesity, genes, cancer.
Yeah, cancer, why not?
This is exciting. I'm enjoying the new part of the set a little bit.
That's where we're standing up and so much excitement.
That's so short.
She's actually sitting, you can't actually tell.
So, Dr. Brandon, let's get right to it.
Sure.
Does genetics affect obesity?
There are genes that slightly increase your chance of being obese.
Slightly. So,
yes.
Not like the jeans you put on. Just kidding.
You have ruined one of my jokes later.
So I hear so often, I'm only overweight because I'm genetically inclined to be overweight. So what can you tell us about that?
It's hogwash.
Hogwash, you say?
Or
Scandalous!
So there are genes that can increase the chances of being obese. There's actually over 100 of them that's been found so far. However, if someone has all 100 of those genes, they're all, we'll say, turned on or lit up, however you want to phrase it, that only accounts for about 3% difference of BMI from person to person, which means less than a few hundred calories per year. So if you walk a mile once a month, that overdoes the genetic component of it. There's one gene that actually has gotten a lot of attention because when people started saying there's a gene that causes obesity, because let's be honest, people want to find a reason to, people look for excuses. I mean, just straight, it's what we all do it at some point. And when they found this gene, FTO, which stands for, fat and obese associated gene, everyone started getting all excited because, this is the reason why I'm overweight. My thyroid levels are fine. It has nothing to do with eating a lot and not exercising. But even this one gene that is the dominant gene for causing obesity is 1% difference of BMI. So it came out to someone calculated about 34 extra calories a month.
So it's really not clinically significant in any way whatsoever, is it?
Not at all. Actually, chewing gum for a day will take care.
I was just thinking of that.
Really?
Out of my head, yeah. I was thinking gum.
So yeah, if you have this gene, so the argument, yes, genetics do play a role in obesity, but no, they really don't. They're there. When it comes down to it, it's all environmental. Meaning it's what you do, which should be good news. I've told this to people before, and they got upset about, what, you're saying it's my fault?
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Who put the food in your mouth? I'm just saying.
It's environmental. You eat a lot, you don't exercise, you're going to get fat. Even if you eat well and you don't exercise, we end up getting that skinny fat condition at best. Or your metabolism shoots down because your body's not used to eating anything. Your body doesn't realize that you're starving yourself on purpose, and now 500 calories a day and you're still gaining weight.
I didn't see skinny fat in my textbooks. So what exactly, you two, is skinny fat?
Yes, Miss PhD.
Well, skinny fat is people that look thin, okay, but their BMI is well above what it should be. So their body, their mass, their muscle mass is not what it should be. It's mostly consumed of fat mass, which increases your risk for a lot of cardiovascular diseases, as well as other inflammatory issues. So you can be skinny, but you can be very fat and unhealthy at the same time.
I typically think of your stereotypical cross-country female. They're being well, seriously, they weigh 105, 110 pounds, but they're 30, 40% body fat.
Right.
They're very thin, but a high body fat percentage of it. Again, can't say that they're fat, but they're more fat than muscle and bone. So skinny fat.
Skinny fat.
Or Nick Diaz was accused of being skinny fat from Conor McGregor.
No way.
Yes, that was the big ramp up, was his skinny fat gonna punch that weak body and everything, and then he was choked out. I like that part.
The bone choked him out.
Mm-hmm.
You choked on the bone?
Nothing.
Choked
Thank you. She's been with me long enough, she knows the bad humor.
So speaking of bad humor, it comes down to, though genes do play, no Jim, those genes do not make you look fat, it's the food you're eating.
So typically, I guess, if it's not the genes, then why do people keep eating these foods that are making them heavy? Why does somebody say, I have to have pasta? I put breadcrumbs in my meatballs all the time. I have to eat more pasta.
You don't have to do crap.
Of course you don't, but
it's that
people keep
people
saying
want to, and again, you're going to justify what you want. The easy example I see with this is when people try to drop sugar or drop carbs, and then they don't feel well for a day or two, and oh, my body just needs carbs. So you're trying to convince me your body needs processed pasta that we did not evolve with or have up until a couple hundred years ago. I'm not buying it. Again, it's the environmental part. You want pasta, you want to have an excuse for it, so you have a bad day, and now you want to eat all of it.
eat your whole day.
All of it.
How does that make you feel?
Like you need more bread.
Like crap. And then you eat more because you feel like crap. And that's how you get obese.
So if we're hungry, we're sort of designed to want to eat, right?
We are. For many reasons. I mean, one, early on, again, up just a couple hundred years ago, we didn't have a constant food source. It was eat as much as you can and then starve until you can find food again. It's why why we put on fat. Not all animals or mammals add fat like we do. It's now that society has dropped us in a place where we have a bunch of food. We no longer have to run away from saber-toothed tigers or constantly climb trees and run around to survive. So now it's become a chore to exercise and to eat well. And though our life is a lot easier than it was a couple hundred years ago, exercise and eating well is too hard, so I don't want to do it. Give me a magic pill, or it's just my genes.
So let's move on here, genes and cancer.
Mm-hmm.
The term is thrown around a lot because, well, people die from it every single day. What exactly is cancer? A lot of people don't understand what it is. They just die from it.
That's a good point. Cancer is simply mutations of cells in your body. You get mutations from one to two ways: external sources or internal sources. Again, we're talking then environment or genetics. External sources being things like you're constantly smoking tobacco, or you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you play in radioactive goo, things of that nature is going to give you cancer.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's right. Just call it that. The week doesn't end for us, though, so this just keeps on looping around. And looping around.
The weekends, but yeah,
Doesn't change our lives either.
But then the other side is the internal one, is just a random cause of cells, cause a little mutation. Again, that's the genetic component. But that only makes up about 5 to 10% of cancers where it's a factor. We'll call it a strong factor. So whereas obesity, genes don't play a part at all. I mean, again, less than 1% is nothing to me. Cancer does play a little bit of a role, meaning that if you do everything right for obesity, you're going to be healthy and stay thin. If you do everything right for cancer, you might not, but you're putting things very much in favor for it. The hormonal-based cancers, the ones that are a little bit more genetic. Mm-hmm. But again, there's so many things that we can do that we don't do, which is why cancers go through the roof right now. I mean, colon cancer is the biggest one that's skyrocketing the last couple of years, and go figure that comes mostly from our diet. We're having less inflammatory food because the main basis of colon cancer usually comes from inflammatory bowel, Crohn's disease, or something of that nature, where the intestines they're inflamed for years, and that's going to cause cells to kind of thicken up, die, mutate, and then before you know it, we have cancer. And these genes are a little bit harder to turn on, turn on or off. Unlike the FTO gene we talked about earlier, just in case someone ever gets genetically tested, you find that gene in you. Mm-hmm. Being active and eating healthy completely shuts off that gene anyway. So completely, and so it stops that 1% it was affecting you anyway.
So why get tested then?
For obesity, I wouldn't bother at all. Just live your healthy lifestyle. The genes in that is not going to matter. With cancer,
if you have a history of it, if you have parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, you may want to.
I mean, it's one of those things I wouldn't recommend it personally for anyone, but as Shantae just said, if several close family members have the same cancer and you want to know maybe, or if there's a childhood cancer goes in your family. But again, when it comes down to it, it's how are you going to respond to information? Some people, when they find out, oh, this cancer runs in my genes, I got a 20% chance of getting it. Some people are going to be like, that's it, they're going to change their lifestyle and make sure they never get it.
They're scared.
Or going to do best for it. Some people are just going to go and throw their hands in the air approach, say, you know what, it's in my genes, I'm going to get it, and they're not going to do anything to help support it, which then increases the chance of you getting it because you're kind of giving up on it. There's no reason to let fate decide your life. I mean, as much control as we have, you might as well take it.
What if you have possible symptoms, like capital A spots?
That was a better pronunciation than expected.
I practiced it for a long time, over many years.
Say cafe au lait.
Cafe au lait?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was better than expected. So, cafe, I'm not going to try it now.
Neurofiber, yeah.
Yeah, so there's spots. What these are, what we're talking about, these little tan, dark pigment spots. They're usually like oblong and blotchy on skin. They're very common. Like 10 to 25% of us have one. And so one reason you might want to get genetic testing is if you see a physical trait such as these cafe latte spots, where if you have up to about 6 of them, there's a decent chance you have neurofibromatosis, which is a somewhat cancer-like disease. It causes a bunch of other symptoms as well, but it's your nervous system kind of grows out of control. So you can get tumors on your nerves and around neural tissue. So increase the chance of like brain cancer, things like that.
Tumors get on my nerves too.
You know what gets on my nerves?
What? So in that case, again, it kind of comes down to how do you think you're going to respond to the news. Because then it doesn't guarantee, it's a 5 to 10% chance. There's other diseases like Huntington's, which touches on a little bit, because that's probably the prime example of why people do genetic testing. Is, if you're not familiar with it, it's a debilitating disease that it's unfortunately basically a death sentence after you start getting symptoms from it for about 10 years. You just rapidly decline movement and breathing, but it's got a 50% chance if your parent has it, 50% chance you have it too. So that's, again, a lot of people genetic test for it, but then it comes down to how would you respond to it. I actually know someone who, I don't know how they are now, but they got tested for it in high school and they did not respond positively, let's say.
So cancer seems to be on the rise.
Very much so.
So what do you think really is the biggest cause? Is it always environmental, food, all the above?
I mean, it's going to be aliens I can't rule out. I cannot say I haven't seen aliens come down to give cancer, so I don't know they're not doing it either. But environmental's got to be it, because if cancer is increasing, it's not like our genes in our species have changed the last 100 years. It didn't, not that much. But there's a direct correlation with, and it's young people are getting more cancer, and that's the big deal. Because if we live long enough, all of us are going to get cancer if we live for hundreds of years. It's the way our bodies are designed. Prostate cancer is actually a big one for that. So it's why elderly people tend to get it more. However, increases are young people. We're talking 20 to 50 years old are getting a lot. And it's directly correlated with, anyone want to guess what? I was looking for, yeah, 100%. Diabetes and obesity.
Lifestyle.
So I mean, you're right. It wasn't the key word I was looking for.
So
Come
sorry.
down your level to scolding you.
Scandalous!
She's still sleeping through that.
Don't
Anyway,
the baby.
the audience is sleeping. Not entertaining enough. But so anyway.
The audience is 5.
So there's reasons why, believe it or not, obesity and cancer they're more than correlated at this point. They found almost every attachment as to why they're causing, but it's mainly two things. Inflammation and higher estrogen, which we touched upon. We touched upon both of those all this time.
We touched upon a lot in that one video live a couple weeks ago.
Touched upon a lot, yes.
There's a lot that was touched upon, and since then, at least 4 of those 7 things.
Touching.
That number's going down. Last week it was 6.
I faced 7 must have happened because I've blanked out. Got it.
We had now an 8, amnesia. So I could get in a lot of problems. Anyway, so with inflammation, we talked about this before, but for those of you who don't remember or haven't watched this, shame on you. Second is...
You're shaming them because they're watching us right now.
If they didn't watch it before, they're getting shamed. Watching now,
just go back and watch it. I mean, that's easy enough.
Yeah, I'll take back my shame for that.
It's on Functionised.com.
For unshamed.
I think we're putting these on the Healthy Happy Hour page as well, just combining Fun Fit Fridays with Healthy Happy Hour, which is separate from podcast. And it's also on all the Facebook and Instagram.
It's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
Find it. But,
How do you not know this by now?
The search button. It's on the homepage, Functionised.com.
But, so adipose tissue, fat cells, directly releases inflammatoids, meaning inflammation. Again, just like we said about the colon cancer, having inflamed bowel, it works that way with your whole body. When you have a lot of inflammation, these cells are going to turn and we get cancer. Kidney cancer, uterine cancer are some of the bigger ones that are directly caused from obesity. And then again, with estrogens, it's because adipose tissue also increases estrogens that are in our body.
Mhm.
And estrogens increase the rate that cells grow. When cells grow too quickly, they tend to get a little mishandled, mismanaged, and turn into bumps, lumps, and tumors.
Anything else could happen.
Yeah.
Mutate.
I promise she's like the smartest girl I know.
She's not even drinking water today.
No, I'm not.
So,
Where's my
before we wrap
onions?
up, do we have any parting thoughts?
Walk
Yeah.
around the block.
I mean,
Diet and exercise comes
good.
down to
Yeah,
it. It really
it's
does.
lifestyle. It's for both of them. Again, obesity, it's really all up to you. I mean, do what you know you're supposed to. If you don't know, talk to your competent medical professional. Here at Functionised, we'll always help give you advice and get you in the right direction and work with you. But live a healthy lifestyle and you will be healthy. It is kind of actually pretty simple.
I'll get in your face and literally say,
Tough love.
no, we'll call it tough love. There's no excuse for being unhealthy. There really isn't.
No, and I mean, there are things that make like losing weight or being healthy more difficult. I mean, I get it. If you have a lower metabolism, hypothyroid issue, diabetes, it makes losing weight more difficult. But then again, having a healthy lifestyle or not having a healthy lifestyle is what got you there in the first place. And then switching to a healthy lifestyle will get you out of it. So again, there's no reason.
It's a
to stop.
miracle.
And good news is you don't have to wait till Monday to start this healthy lifestyle. You can do it
Sunday?
right here and now, at this very moment.
Could do it right
Welcome.
now.
And just because there's extra food that's left over that's like a Pop-Tart or something, doesn't mean you have to eat it. It's still technically poison to your body, so.
Throw out the Pop-Tarts.
Right, I'm just using those as examples.
Rice
Mhm.
Krispie treats, whatever. just
Throw
laying around.
compost in the backyard. That way you can actually grow better food from your crap.
There you go.
Or just don't buy it. That's another option.
It's even better one, save some money.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, the fundraiser for the Dennis W. Zielinski Jr. Memorial Fund was a sensational hit. And good news, you can still purchase your bottle of One Hope wine.
Wine for everybody if you click the link.
Even better, you can
Why
get
not?
why not get a case?
Why
Why
not?
OneHopeWine.com/event /51533. Booyah, got it right this time.
Ooh, yay!
Then
Is George still matching bottles for bottle?
George has already gotten like 10 cases.
I think he is still matching. I don't think he'll
Let's
say
keep
no.
running up George. What's he gonna do? Say he has too much wine? That is not something he's...
Summer on a boat. What could go wrong with too much wine? I'm just saying.
The fact that there's no license yet. Or lessons on how to actually drive it. But other than that,
It's like reading the instruction manual. Why bother? Wait till you mess up first. Not advice, by the way. George,
Alright.
go ahead.
and
Support the cause. Drink your wine. Gift
and
your wine.
stay tuned
buy
to
your
the
wine.
Keto Size Me film being made now, will be coming out
when
when
it
it's
comes
ready.
out.
when it is ready.
I'll be starting the burger eating component in the, like 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Approximately?
Yep, 2 weeks.
So you'll hear about it, I'm sure.
So
You'll see it.
see what Dr. Mike looks like now, and take a mental image. So that's it for me. Dr. Mike, thank you for being here again on Fun Fit Friday.
Had a crap ton of fun with you.
Woo!
Do it again.
Beauty Brains Braun, Shantae, you're amazing.
Scandalous. Yes.
Live audience members. Half alive.
Thank you again for being with us. We'll see you on Tuesday night for Healthy Happy Hour, and we will see you again here next Friday. As always, live functionized.
Woohoo! Wrong arm. Woohoo!